I can't wait for Steph to go to the Lakers.
Huh?
I can't wait for Steph to go to the
It's
Lakers.
happening. I don't know. We'll see how Clay season do, but it's looking bad.
Dog, if Steph comes to the Lakers, man.
Oh, Steph trying to go to the Lakers?
It's about 2 years, man. Cause LeBron contract could be up, and I think LeBron gonna take a real friendly ass $10-15 million a year contract just to play Magic Johnson, and let AD stay,
Yeah.
and he get the next Supermax, and then once that happens, it'd be enough room for another Supermax, and then you just basically got LeBron playing point forward, and which if he play point forward, he could do that for another 5 years.
Come on, I was telling somebody I thought about Scottie Pippen with the Portland Trail Blazers that year.
That's who Scott. Nobody ever liked it when I said that's who LeBron.
Yeah. Nah, that was a good. I'm talking about
He's
that
Scottie
was.
Pippen 2.0.
Yeah.
And I love Scott.
Speaking of, Scottie Pippen Jr. just declared for the NBA draft. Scottie Pippen Jr. just declared for the draft.
Damn. That's what's up.
I hope we get drafted so we can see Larsa. Wow, we gonna get you sober today? We gonna get you non-elevated?
What he gonna do? Shit.
What you can't find?
It's blunt.
Might want to look over there.
Who is this?
ASAP.
It's ASAP.
ASAP Rocky.
I wish he would.
You know, rich nigga problems, man. I'm playing this in honor of, one of the additional members, who is sitting around here. Sir Rodney.
Oh, well, that's
Don't
my
create the
song.
narratives.
We'll play that. We'll play that ASAP. We'll play Runzel. Runzel artist.
Uh-huh. We was gone for a week, Hope everybody had a happy Easter.
Resurrection.
Yeah.
He got up.
Yeah, we feel born again.
We're starting off as expected, with the confirmation of DMX's passing.
Rest in peace, Dark Man X. Well, not Dark Man. He left the darkness. Dog
Yeah.
Man X.
Come on.
It's sad, but it's interesting because I feel like it's interesting how people reminded how much of his life he lived. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was February, the Drink Champs
Yeah, I like that-
episode
that-
where he
that-
literally was like, I've done it all. I've done so much. I'm blessed, and if I die tomorrow, I'm happy.
I
had a life.
I feel like that was the perfect closing interview. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like that it was
Flowers.
I like that it was Nori.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like that they got done what they needed to get done. It's just interesting seeing how he went out. And I remember watching pretty recently when he talked about the first person who ever gave him crack. And he didn't know what it was. And the first time he was ever given crack, it was by his OG.
Yep.
And he was like 13, 14 years
Yeah.
old. And he was breaking down, crying about it. And, it to me is just seeming like that generation, that whole story, everything that they was talking about is all wrapping up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I saw him in a good place, and I just pray that his soul was in a good place, because this is a perfect song. All that Damien stuff that he was doing early at the beginning,
Yeah.
all that pig's blood and all that, and then how he kind of lost it, but then it seemed like he was getting it back together. I seen the way Swiss had made him a personal recovery project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just sad that he wasn't able to really master those emotions, and that he actually had to go out, that it actually got him in the end, that addiction. at the same time, though, when you find out that the first time he ever smoked crack, he was 13, 14, he didn't do it on purpose, and that his OG gave it to him and started a lifelong addiction against his will from a so-called mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So, like, I was just thinking about that Drink Champs, his family and how he had his kids with him and all his children with him, and how they was all with him, and he was him. He didn't care that his children was in the room. This is who your daddy is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how much, and he was so, you could see the love. And addiction is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing. And a lot of times, I was listening to what Swiss said. DMX, you never really seen him with Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis and all that and big chains, and you never really seen him. He had just as much money as everybody else, if not more. You know what I'm saying? He had 2 #1 albums in 9 months when, selling records meant something.
Exactly.
It wasn't streaming money. This was actual $17 a record, $15 a record.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He was literally just who he was. Even his last interview, he's talking about, I'm a battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you 50 years old, I'm a battler. You know what I'm saying? He was just who he was. It's just, you look at addiction, you look at money, you look at fame, you look at all the reason why I brought up the cars. A lot of times, especially this modern music, people act like that's going to solve something. Oh, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. I went platinum, I did this, I'm #1, I did this, I did that. The thing I see about DMX is, whatever you think you want to accomplish in your career, he did all that times 5, and it still didn't bring him that inner peace. So if you think that's going to bring you inner peace, and you could literally see the person who has accomplished what you see, because people be thinking, I'm going to feel better once this happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to work, and then once I get X, whatever X is, shout out to X, rest in peace X, but X is a variable. Once I get this X, then I'm gonna feel better. You know what I'm saying? Once I get this job, once I get this car, once I get this notoriety, once I get the spout, whatever X, once I get X. X is, the thing I peeped is, X got every X you can imagine, and it still didn't fill the void. He got every X you can imagine. He had the platinum records. He had the this. He had the that. Him and Jay-Z had the classic battle. Like, he had the life, went from being homeless and all that to $1 million. And at the end of the day, it didn't fill that void. So a lot of times, people thinking this next accomplishment is going to fill the void. One thing I'm learning about the loss of X is that shit ain't going to never fill that void.
Yeah.
Only thing that's gonna fill the void is you filling the void.
And I wanted to jump in and just say that I thought that it was. I've watched X since probably the age of about 8 or 9. Reading the source,
right?
Looking at MTV and hearing about his story. Hearing about how his mom had a rough relationship with him early.
Right.
Hearing how, he overcame so much, and, how he was at the height of it all. Like, I vividly remember, and I was telling my mom this, like, driving downtown with her every weekend and hearing Party Up 8 times on the radio stations.
Yeah.
Just riding back and forth, right? I remember we played Slippin'. I was having a tough time in school. I had to be like 16. I remember listening to my Discman and playing Slippin' like for the entire day, back to back on repeat. You feel me? Like,
for the children out there, Discman is a portable CD player.
Yes, that's a portable CD
player.
If
y'all don't know what a CD is, fuck.
But I'm glad that we got to see him do that versus with Snoop.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got to
see him with the
do the Drink Champs. I'm glad that even in his death, right, he had a when I was like playing some of his records, Lord Give Me a Sign came up, right?
Right.
Or Missing You with Faith Evans, and I was like, he had this relationship with Christ. I'm a believer in Christ, but I feel like him having that relationships give me some solace in knowing that regardless of his struggle with addiction, his heart was always in the right place.
I agree with you. If you look, even like I was back to that Drink Champs, he was talking about how he comes from a spiritual family. Like his grandmother was like she was a sensitive. And so I feel like it was in him from the word go. Yeah. And then he got led astray. And in the process kept fighting his way back. Yeah. You know, and the same way the gifts that his grandmother had was the gifts that he had. Because I really look at certain people like him, and I know he had all this success. I really feel like he missed his calling, though. I feel like he was supposed to be a preacher. When you see DMX lead a prayer, the level of sincerity, the level of intensity, the channel that he's able to open to Source Prime, commonly referred to as God, you don't get that in 95% of churches on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a lot of people where the word, and that's why when people talk about the church, I'm like, whatever. It's a lot of people in there with the word on their tongue, the word in their head.
But not in their heart.
It's not in their heart. When you listen to Dog Man, when you listen to him talk, you knew that God was in his heart. Yeah. Because when you also listen to Damien talk, you knew Damien was in his head. Yeah. And Damien was in his head, and God was in his heart. And you would see him struggle and go back and forth between the two. And regardless of all that success that he accomplished, I really believe that in a parallel universe, he was a preacher or a shaman of some sort. And that version of him is probably the happiest version.
But I would even say this. I think that he did do some preaching just in his music, right? Yeah. Like the fact that you can play Lord Give Me a Sign, that you could play Slippin', that you could play this music, and because his heart was in his music, right, somebody can meditate, somebody can pray, somebody can grab that spirit out of that. Yeah. And I thought about, when you said that, I just thought about a lyric that I want to say Lecrae or Andy Mineo had said. These are two gospel rappers, and one of them had said, like, my verse might be the first time that somebody hears the word of Christ. Yeah. And so I think that even looking at X and the whole scope of his career, he probably did minister to some people.
Oh, most definitely.
Plus, I've heard like 1,000 stories over the last several days, about just X. Like, I saw a photo of him taking photos with a elderly white woman outside of a Goodwill. And I can only imagine, right, looking at the story and thinking about who DMX was, if they was riding through this town, he looking for the flyers again. He like, yo, we just gonna go to the Goodwill. Taking a picture with somebody. Or it was like a scientist who was doing
how and why was he even there in the first place? It's a legend. It sounds legendary.
Like a scientist had showed a photo. He had this big document where he was working for this like science panel. Okay. And DMX was so curious about it, man. They took a photo together, but he said DMX talked his ear off about the science, It's just like what's happening on this.
He like, damn, nigga, I get it, physics. Like, relax. Right. No, it's part of the reason why I do like this new social era. The reason why I love Drink Champs is because we get a chance to see and hear a lot of these stories before they pass. Yeah. A lot of times in the past, we wouldn't have gotten an opportunity to have that internal look, and or now media outlets that didn't even care about him will be spinning the narrative to fit whatever they need to get their little clickbait. Now we don't have to do that. We could literally just watch a 3-hour interview of him telling his own story. Yes. We don't need the Entertainment Tonight version. We don't need the TMZ version. We don't need none of that. We don't need none of that. We could literally just go and sit and watch 3 hours. That's why I love about Swiss being able to go online and talk about his brother. Yeah. Back in the day, we wouldn't have been able to have access to that. And if we did, by the time Swiss gave the interview, it would have been a much more measured, much more...
and not in real time.
Not in real time.
Yeah.
So yeah, R.I.P. DMX, and I really do believe his strongest point, like with some of those prayers. And when I heard him, my favorite DMX song is "Niggas Done Started Something." Like I liked all that reckless shit. But it's interesting that I'm not talking about none of those verses right now. The thing that stands out most to me is when that man would be on stage crying out for God, but crying out for God for other people. And I'm gonna say it again. I feel like he was a clear channel. Yeah. And that ain't just no GCI reference. I'm literally saying he was. He was and he could clearly channel good. He can also clearly channel fucking some other shit too. Mm-hmm. But once he got in tune with it, it was gonna come out one way or the other. And I just, when I was young, I loved that nigga ignorant shit. Yeah. But now that I've matured, I've become wiser. I really appreciate his connection to the Most High.
Yeah, and not even to, because I think it's a productive way to say this. I really have so many feelings about like how people handle death on social media, because it feels like it ain't even just with celebrities. It be with their own damn family. Sometimes I'll be like, really, just like it ain't even about you giving so much information. It's just really this feeling of you making it about you in some way, shape, or form. That feels so crazy. Feels so like far reaching. It's like you do realize you just posted a picture and then wrote a sonnet and a book and a half online. And then yet you going through the motions about this online. People gonna comment, people gonna not like, people gonna say whatever they're gonna say.
I have been.
And it's just like, why even welcome yourself into this if all you're trying to do is just... Why would you
want to connect to that energy?
Yeah, if like, what you're trying to do is truly mourn this person that you feel like, even if it's just the energy, even if it's just somebody you admire, let me say, it's gone. You know, that shit's just so interesting to me.
I 1000% agree with what you're saying, and that's why the only media that I've watched after this happened was a direct somebody reposting Swiss's Instagram, something like that. If it's not directly to somebody related involved, I don't want your filter or your skew on it. Word. Because so many people have attempted to make this about them.
Be the first one to let it be known that I care, so I'm gonna let y'all know RIP days before he even actually transitioned.
People try to make it victim, like I've seen that, and to those people, I'm gonna keep my energy towards them as light and as little as possible. Yeah. If you are that not interesting, if you are that not popping, where the only thing that you can do is attach yourself to death or destruction in order to shine a light on you. I think what my statement about you just said everything that I think about you. Like I don't have to really go much further than that. If that's what you feel,
like what's going on internally,
like
this is all that you have to offer.
Yeah, if that's what you got,
updates and the good pictures of.
If that's what you got to offer, my thing to you is I want you to go, and to those people, I want you to find a DMX prayer online, and I want you to pray along with DMX, and what I want you to pray for is that you have a positive self-image and some sort of a purpose and some sort of activity in your life, so that you can actually talk about things that you are actively doing, and that you can get awareness and attention shined on you for that. Because if you are that starved for content,
that's wild. And that's so wild. I think about from the media angle.
My heart goes out to you.
Like from the media angle, I was so bothered. Like I posted RIPX when I saw it verified, and I saw the family statement come out.
Exactly.
And I saw the hospital statement come out. Like, and I said it because I was actually impacted in that moment. I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, yo, damn, this is really fucked up. That's from the family. I read the statement, all of that. I saw people the night before it was officially announced trying to be first with it, including some radio stations who was posting shit in there. They was getting blasted. I saw people I forget which celebrity it was who posted. I think it was Claudia Jordan. She had posted R.I.P. DMX probably 2 days before, and it was like, yo, at this point, like, look, regardless of you knowing, you don't need to say that if the family is still settling with
and a
it.
person like her in the position that she in, where she has been in media for over a decade, practically damn near the flagship person of a whole new damn channel.
Yeah, Fox
Soul, where she got 2-3 shows on.
Yeah.
You know better than this. Like, you just trying to bring this attention to you, bring attention to where your money is aligned, and that's gonna always, like, that's not just a faux pas. You got to really ask yourself,
like,
what
are you?
What motivates you?
Like,
to
why
do
would you
that?
do that to a person?
Who are you?
Because I think about that with. I hate saying this, but look, my grandmother is getting up there in age. All right, dealt with some stuff this past week, but. There is a neighbor on the street who she's the first person every time that we had to take my grandmother somewhere. Every time she see my grandmother walk, she always watching. She always willing to, hop on the phone and tell somebody else. And it's like, well, damn, what's gonna happen if my grandmother does transition? And then you out here telling folks before we even come to grips with it ourselves.
I think,
like, why would you? What possesses you to do such a thing?
That's why I said what I want them to do is find a DMX prayer, because if you're that attention starved, like, my heart goes out to you because you don't even think you could call somebody and start a conversation about your day. Like, the only thing you can do is talk about some bullshit. Mm-hmm. That's not even a statement about the shit you talking about. That's a statement about you. Like, it's tons of terrible things that happen in and around my life and family and all that shit. But the fact of the matter is this. I have so many interesting things going on about me in general that even if there's something not positive going on, I have something I could redirect my focus on. I don't have to get attention from other people by talking about other people.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even want attention. I want people to be aware, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I pray that you find something that you can do that will make people aware of you, because if that's the only thing you have to that will shine a light on you, shit. Like, maybe you want to let your light shine then, cause I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Like,
that's real. That's real. And coming from a person who actively does want attention on the internet, I want the attention because of the exchange. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't gonna put nothing out there that I don't think you get something from, either being entertaining, persuasive, informational, whatever it is.
Right.
And the fact that you are consuming the thing helps me too. So you get a thing, I get a thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I say something that gives you some
It's an
perspective.
exchange.
Whatever it is, it's
Right.
an exchange. But if you literally are going onto a space where you built a platform where people listen to your words,
right.
and you haphazardly use them, do shit all preemptively, you got to ask yourself, like, well, what are you giving people? Why are you even using your words? Why are you putting things out when people are following you? People do obviously buy into you and buy into what you do. So it's like, look how you lead in this situation. Look how you are using your platform. And it's just, I think it happens every single big person and big moment.
Yeah.
It's this like flurry of people who you don't even have no association with the person.
Probably
like,
never even listen to a song.
Yeah, I can never shade.
You know, when Nipsey,
I can never shade somebody who's related to somebody. But
when Nipsey passed,
it's always
shit
distant
happened.
people.
Yeah.
And it's like people start dancing on Twitter to Nipsey songs who never even listened to a Nipsey song.
Yeah.
It's like, why? What do you need?
Nipsey didn't die on top of the charts and all that shit.
Why do you need to dance to a Nipsey song on Instagram today? Like, you're not even a fan. Just let this, and my point to all that is, it's real simple. Those types of people, the internet has given everybody a platform, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers are actually addicted to these likes and shit. The people that designed this stuff knew that it was going to operate the dopamine in the brain the same way that fucking drugs do. Mm-hmm. And what I think we dealing with is another type of dope fiend. And we dealing with attention fiends who are so addicted to that number of likes, that number of shares, that number of comments, that they don't care what the fuck they got to do to get it.
Yeah.
And ain't no difference between them and the dope fiend looking for the next fix.
Word.
Because they literally are looking for that fix. Well, when they touch their phone and they see that 90 like whatever the number is that they need to get high off of. I don't know the number, but they need a certain number so they could get that dopamine rush, so they could feel liked or whatever, respected. And there's people out here now who just addicted to that rush, and they willing to do anything to get that rush. And if you so addicted to that you gotta make another person's death, didn't that man have like 9 kids or some shit?
Yeah, like 13, I believe. 13.
I heard so many different numbers.
Yeah, I heard 15 from somebody yesterday, but I'm staying with 13.
All right. This nigga sound like we playing spades or something. Like,
right.
What you got, nigga? I'm about to run a yard on you.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
I got 9 and a possible, but
it's like, damn.
like, damn.
All right, I got 1.
I'm just whatever. I'm playing off you.
Go ahead, you lead.
I just think that what I'm gonna end with that is my final thing with that is they dope fiends too.
Period.
And they addicted to that dopamine, and they addicted to that rush, and they so addicted that they don't care what they gotta do to get that next rush, and that they don't realize that everybody could see you, and everybody who didn't like it had an opinion. Everybody who didn't comment may have had a comment.
Word.
They just didn't type it. So if you that desperate, if you that silly, if you that stupid, God bless you. I'm gonna just pray that you find a DMX prayer so that you could become an interesting enough person so you could get some traffic and content off of who you are. Mm-hmm. It must suck to suck, bitch.
And R.I.P. DMX. And prayers out to the family.
Prayers to the family.
Yeah. To Swiss Beats and all of them too, because I know Swiss taking it hard.
Swiss is taking it real hard.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They just got swapped out all that Triller stock.
Yeah.
Triller hasn't even had the IPO yet. Hove done touched the B. Ye done touched the B. This ain't the last one of them to touch a B. So this ain't the end. This is the beginning. They just touched into a whole new game.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the movie and shit, when the movie beginning and like that homie gotta die at the beginning of the movie right before it take off, and you be like, damn, nigga, like we ain't even really balled yet. Like we're about to ball. We've been playing with tens of millions of dollars, nigga. Now we about to have billions. Like it's a different.
You can really shake shit up.
We can really shake shit up. So thoughts and prayers.
Speaking of money, Diddy wrote a letter, particularly aiming at General Motors.
Okay.
He published it to Revolt's website, which is actually the only way that I could see it since Diddy blocked me on Twitter.
Damn.
I agree with that, Diddy.
No, he blocked me in like 2010. It's been like 11 years
What you do?
You deserved it.
I didn't. That was a different me. I'm a brand new person.
You ain't got a brand new profile.
This is when confronted by the leaders of several black-owned media companies, General Motors listed my network, Revolt, as an example of the black-owned media it supports.
Oh, okay.
While Revolt does receive advertising revenue from GM, our relationship is not an example of success. Instead, Revolt, just like other black-owned media companies, fights for crumbs, while GM makes billions of dollars every year from the black community. Exposing GM's historic refusal to fairly invest in black-owned media is not an assassination of character. It's exposing the way GM and many other advertisers have always treated us. No longer can corporate America manipulate our community into believing that incremental progress is acceptable action. Companies like General Motors have exploited our culture, undermined our power, and excluded black entrepreneurs from participating in the value created by black consumers.
Okay.
In 2019, brands spent $239 billion on advertising.
Damn.
Less than 1% of that was invested in black-owned media companies. Out of the roughly $3 billion General Motors spent on advertising, we estimate only $10 million was invested in black-owned media. Only $10 million out of $3 billion. Like the rest of corporate America, General Motors is telling us to sit down, shut up, and be happy with what we got. It's disrespectful that black-owned media companies only represent 1% of the total advertising market.
Whoa!
It's disrespectful
Shots
that
fired.
it's disrespectful that distributors refuse to carry black-owned media brands in an era where our impact and influence is undeniable. It's disrespectful that the same community that represents 14% of the population and spends over $1.4 trillion annually is still the most economically undervalued and underserved at every level. We demand that corporate America reinvest an equitable percentage of what you take from our community back into our community. If the black community represents 15% of your revenue, black-owned media should receive at least 15% of the advertising spend.
Church.
The same way you understand the power of our dollars, we understand our power to take them away from any corporation that does not give us the economic inclusion we deserve. We are prepared to weaponize our dollars.
Yes.
That's most of it. Paraphrase a little bit.
That's fine.
I think like first of all, I'm glad that Diddy wrote that. I think that we need more people like him in positions of power to speak out and be in support.
Yeah.
I definitely. That was a different take on the 15% pledge, which a lot of companies have been confronted with over the last year. For example, Macy's, Sephora, and Macy's, Sephora, and I forgot the other company, but there are a few other companies. Oh, and the Gap. They've all committed to offering 15% of their shelf space to black-owned brands.
Damn.
Also, Target just announced that they are reinvesting, I believe, up to $2 billion by the year 2025 in black-owned brands and partnerships. It's part of a 15% pledge, you know, that a lot of companies have been
to do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Look, we done finally made it to the bare minimum.
But I think that it was really.
No, it's a good thing.
It's important.
And I like what Puffy said.
Yeah, I like what he's saying about black-owned media. Because it's about getting those advertising dollars. Because you're advertising in these places, and so. Advertise with us too, so that we can actually then reinvest in our own communities. That's what Steve
Stout been talking about the whole time.
You know, maybe we can then hire more people. Maybe we can then expand, you know, our media platforms. So,
Puffy has said the most magical things ever, and what I think is funny. Well, you continue.
I know, but I was gonna say the other half of that was that he got blasted on Twitter for publishing that letter because people was like, "You don't even pay your artists."
I figured that would
first
come
of
with
all, shut the fuck up. When people talk about Puffy and Bad Boy, they got to realize the reason them artists didn't get paid is one reason. They had too many fucking samples on them damn songs. They killed the publishing, and they ran up the damn budgets and getting all the samples cleared, which is why soon after, the next generation of artists was sample free. And that's why Timbaland and Pharrell and Manny Fresh and Beats by the Pound and all them took over because they were sample free. And you didn't have to pay all the money for the samples. You didn't have to run up your budget getting the samples and getting them cleared. And you got to keep 100% of your publishing and all that shit. So when people talk about the Bad Boy budgets, shut the fuck up. Let's start with that. Next, moving right along. Everything he just said, the real most important part. I don't even know where people come up with these narratives. I do, but that's a whole nother story. Most important part he said was the amount of money that we spend in comparison to the amount of money that we get back is not equitable.
Yes.
The amount of the market that we dictate and the amount of the budget that we receive is not equitable.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And if anyone heard this 15%, they should understand that 15% isn't a gift. It's the bare fucking minimum.
Period.
If we're doing 15% of your business, then ideally 15% of the marketing should go towards us. That's a bare minimum. That doesn't mean we're a priority client.
Obviously.
That just means that a one-to-one rate, one-to-one.
Yeah.
So if Puffy is fighting for a one-to-one, that should let you know currently what the situation is. A motherfucker could release a press release like General Motors. How many people done said Cadillac in a rap? And wait a minute, y'all making trillions and billions, and we get $10 million. And not only do we get $10 million, the goofy that cut the check didn't even think, damn, we only gave them $10 million. He said, look, we gave them $10 million.
Yeah.
He didn't even think, damn, this is a shame. So what Diddy is saying is common sense. It's logical. They've been saying the same thing for a while. Vote with your dollar. If this is a so-called capitalistic market, vote with your dollar. Do you know for a fact, this is for a fact, you can look up the GTO. The black dollar keeps America afloat every year between Halloween and the first week of January. We spend more money than everyone else. In addition to spending more money than everyone else, we spend a higher percentage of the money that we have. And this is the most valuable and profitable part of the year. If Black America wanted to hold America hostage, all we would have to do is not spend money between October 31st and December 25th. If we did that, the entire system would shut down. And
we could do that.
That's it. And here's the thing, niggas. If you want the shit, that's fine. If we don't buy it and let it sit on the shelves till October 25th, they're going to make it 70% off on October 26th anyway, and then you can have the shit anyway.
Like,
so it's not,
get it.
You're going to get it. All you got to do is do delayed gratification. So the amount of money we spend per year, us just more melanated people, is equivalent to the 5th largest nation in the fucking world. We spend more money than like France or some stupid ass shit like that. Like, no, real whole countries.
Yep.
So what Puff is saying is correct. And I don't want to, like, people talked about Puff and Jay-Z in the 90s. Oh, they fake. Oh, this, that. Oh, look. 20, 30 years later, they the most revolutionary motherfuckers in the game right now. Because anybody could get and say some stupid shit in a poetry set. You know, if you in a poetry set and you say fight the power, the 12 people in the poetry set heard your ass. Puffy having a fucking media empire and telling General Motors after they called him out by name to kiss my ass and keep your raggedy ass $2 million while you at it is different than these 90s underground hip hop rappers saying fight the power in a motherfucking in a poetry set some damn well.
Before they go to bodega and get a little chopped cheese.
That ain't the same shit. Jay-Z telling the NFL, fuck the NFL, I don't need you, in the song Ape Shit with Beyonce. And then the NFL had to call him afterwards.
Needed him.
It needed him.
Had to pay him. They Googled that shit, was like top black, and Jay-Z pops up, and it's like, okay, this is how we can win the blacks back.
And then somebody went on Genius. You see right here, say we don't need him. Roger Goodell tried to put his arm around Roger Goodell. He shrugged. Nigga, don't touch me.
Yeah, we ain't cool. Y'all pay.
We ain't cool, bitch.
Y'all pay for services.
This is not it.
Y'all need me to verify.
It's not it. So, yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. I think Diddy. I'm glad you said that, because I was definitely coming from a place of about Diddy's whole like bad boy history with contracts and shit, because I don't think the average person really know exactly how certain things be broken down.
Yeah.
Because I was like, shit, two things can be true. He could still be doing right with this situation with General Motors and speaking out about these things, but he can also have played executive in a game that wasn't. Like, it's a game that is meant to get the over somebody else. And if you playing it to win it, then somebody's gonna usually do the situation.
Nowadays, in the 90s though, you signed to Bad Boy.
Yeah.
You were signing to Bad Boy to sign on to their already moving ship. They gave you your sound. They gave you the beats. They gave you the access to the producers. It's not like nowadays when you get a buzz and all that. Yeah. And no. Nigga, you signed to Bad Boy is because you wanted to ride Puffy's already moving train. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that was about. Yeah. So the switch between the 90s and the 2000s in production happened mainly because of samples and sample clearances. Gotcha. If you look at the early 90s, they was getting away with it, like with Vanilla Ice and what's the boy name? MC Hammer. They was having these songs that was going diamond and shit and not getting the samples cleared. So they gotta, like motherfucker. Like, you know, like you remember, you know exactly what like, nigga, that's the same shit. And then Vanilla Ice had the nerve to say Ice Ice Baby wasn't what it was. Like so if you look at the early 90s,
hey, man, that shit
was stupid, right? So you look at that, and then you look at everybody was sampling. So if you look at early Bad Boy records, they'd have 2-3 samples on it.
Yeah.
You know, Juicy had the Juicy sample, and then they have a cut, and then so each time you get one of these samples, you got to pay to get it cleared, which goes towards your budget, and they gonna want a percentage of the publishing.
Period, for perpetuity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is because it's my shit.
Yeah.
So you look at a Bad Boy record, it's 15 records. Mm-hmm. It's 15 samples.
Damn.
Maybe 17.
That's how you make music. That's how you produce it too.
And then each one of them samples clear was $20,000 to $50,000.
Yeah.
Then you got to play the producer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You want that Hype Williams video? That's $1 million.
For sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, you want to be in the source? Great.
Cool.
Slide this to Benzino. Oh, you want to be on the radio? So it's a different game. So when people talk Puffy and money and all that stuff, my thing is, do you actually understand the contracts? Do you understand how much work he did? Do you understand that that was just as much his project as it was theirs? Because what people don't ever say about Puffy, every artist he ever fucked with, they got their best fucking album out of him.
Yeah, that's real. You can't say that he's somebody. He ain't somebody you go to. Don't shit happen, you get shit.
No, you getting that album.
You gonna get an album.
Now y'all might not never talk again.
You gonna get a hit. Motherfuckers gonna definitely be,
Mariah Carey, Butterfly ain't never. That's her greatest album. Her and Puffy did one album together. Mary J. Blige, Jodeci.
Mm-hmm.
Jodeci wasn't that great after Puffy left. So anyway, my point is, Puffy, I don't know all his business practices, but the amount of work that they did, I wouldn't give away no masters. I couldn't take people's publishing, but I wouldn't have gave away no motherfucking masters because I worked on this album. This is our album, A of all, and B of all, I paid for everything, and C of all, you were jumping on my bandwagon. So if I did all that, I'm not really sure what I owe you. Did I pay
Well,
you?
I would counter that with looking at Black Rob's issue right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But he only had one album. But Black Rob he had one album to deal with. I think it went platinum. I love Life Story. If you've never heard Black Rob Life Story, it's one of the best Bad Boy albums ever.
But I would say that I think a lot of those artists, and I think that labels should be giving people like health care.
Nah, I'm 1,000 with that.
No, I think they should be doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it shows you how disposable of a commodity they see you as in that business too, though. If you're not even like, even a motherfucker on a farm gonna keep something alive to get the most they can from it. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
if it doesn't matter,
if I keep you alive, I can't get the most out of you. I get more out of you out of posthumous albums.
it's true. But I'm seeing
This is how they operate.
I'm seeing it as a space of like, it's a foolproof situation. You keep making music, you're gonna keep making money. We gonna keep making money. So
we do the Legends tour. We can do all of that stuff.
And then when you pass away, the greatest hits in memory of the B sides. You still going because that's what you're gonna do.
It's a human thing, and I think
with the Black Rob thing and all that, what I will say is, and Nori been talking about this for a while, and every time somebody say it, they huff and puff. And I think the reason they huff and puff is because one time somebody almost tried to do it, and they all got raided by the feds after that. You remember when Death Row, Rap A Lot, and Murder Inc. was supposed to come together?
Yeah.
And right after Death Row, Rap A Lot, and Murder Inc. was supposed to come together, Death Row went down, Murder Inc. got raided. We got to build a fucking union.
Yeah.
We got the Screen Actors Guild. We got all these other things.
Everybody got a union.
NFL, PA,
everybody
NBA,
has a guild.
Amazon is fighting. They warehouse workers from unionizing right now.
Well, you know, that's because Jeff Bezos is not intelligent.
Nigga, they just walked out. I believe, by Gage Park.
That's good, because he's not intelligent. He's smart. But what I think we have to do in regards to that, and even just a simpler solution, before, like, because the labels, they're not going to want to do this because at the end of the day, they want you as desperate as possible so you can sign away shit. It's a game of manipulation. In the meantime, in between the union comes up, because the problems with unions is they tend to attract organized crime, and we already know that the music industry is surrounded by organized crime. So bringing a union into organized crime would mean organized crime, and that's a whole nother issue. What I do believe artists could do in the meantime, in between time, is start up little mini LLCs, hire each other in the LLCs, and provide health care as a part of being an employee of said LLC. Yep. And if you think you need to make a lot of money to have health care, I will counter with White Castles has health care and White Castles has profit sharing. So if White Castle can afford health care and White Castle can afford profit sharing, then other people can do it as well. And waiting on the industry is basically run by a bunch of squares who wanted to be in the inner circle. And now that they in charge, they still secretly a square, and they want to control and dominate the people in the inner circle because they feel like no one accepted me in high school, so now I'm in charge and I'm going to show you my power. And it's like, no, goofy bitch, nobody accepted you because you was a square, my nigga. Just stop being a square. So the squares have taken over, and they're not going to treat the people in the inner circle well. And waiting on the labels to do something, it's not going to happen. The only way the labels would, you know how I think you get the labels to do it, and I know who it'll take. It'll take somebody like Diddy. It'll take Jay-Z, maybe a Steve Stout, and they already, Diddy, Jay Stout, and somebody from the South. So I say either P or J Prince. They just have to start a corporation, hire people to work for that corporation, and get health care for these employees, which just so happen to be artists. They do that and start up some sort of a pension plan. Pension plan could be something simple. It could be through real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you from the 5th Ward? Well, part of your pension plan is we gonna buy a bunch of foreclosures in the 5th Ward, and that'll be your retirement. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you hot? You from Baton Rouge or whatever? Okay, what little neighborhood you from? All right, we're going to buy the foreclosures. That's your pension plan. Yeah. They do that and move first. The labels in the industry will move to counteract it, but we can't go to them asking them to do anything, because why would they do that? That would take their leverage away from you. Yeah. They want to have leverage so you could be dead, broke, naked, and desperate, and so you could just sign away something for a check. Yeah. So they're not going to help, because helping would take away their leverage. Why would I help you? I'm not going to do that, especially when I'm not your race, I'm not your culture, I'm not your age. I don't give a fuck about you. You're just a commodity.
I think we've been too smart today, so let me shift it.
No, we got to, because black media has lowered my IQ as of late.
Well, hold on. I got some positive news.
That shit has been lowering my fucking IQ.
Got some positive news. Asian Daye and Cash Daye have ended their beef.
Now, first off,
did they have a beef?
They had a beef. Was they beefing off a name again? Was this another one of the biggest?
The biggest, or is it the dog? I'm the dog.
So I'm the dog. Don't nobody need to go around here talking to themselves the dog. I'm the dog.
I'm the dog.
There has been tension.
Now, between their camps,
said that Asian Daye didn't like her because of a man.
Dollhouse.
Wait.
She said Cash Daye said that Asian Daye didn't like her because of a man. This years ago, before Asian Daye was with Vine. Later, Nicki Minaj intervened and attempted to squash the beef before things escalated.
Between the two of them?
Wait, so the Barbie had to stop the dolls from fighting?
That's funny.
Okay, keep going. So Barbie stopped the dolls from fighting. Keep going.
That's funny as hell.
So we in Toy Story. Let's go.
Yeah, but
did Buzz pull up?
I don't know.
Ain't they so far in age?
First of all, remember, Cash Daye is 29 forever.
Yeah, I guess she is.
That's the stupid one.
It's like Asian dog, ain't she like early 20s?
That's the stupid one who came at KD and didn't even have enough sense to realize that Brooklyn was about to be the big dick.
Yeah.
God damn.
Hold on, Cash Daye and Asian Daye, they reunited during the night out.
They reunited.
Yeah, they became good again, man. They reunited during a night out, and they celebrated by putting their differences behind them. They shared photos of them embracing.
Okay.
And then Asian Daye, or Asian Debrat now is her name.
Oh, so she's not a doll anymore.
She's Debrat.
Yeah, she offered up an explanation. She said, "It's called growing up. I literally don't want no drama with nobody. It was good seeing her though. For real. Look how far we came. I'm
glad
through
how far they came.
Too much to be beefing over nothing."
From what?
Who knew?
All right, but
well, that's good news. That's good news.
That's bad news is
wait, I'm glad the dolls.
Yeah, the bad news is though. So earlier this week, Duro.
Who is Duro?
If you are unfamiliar with Duro,
I'm familiar.
Duro is a Texas rapper.
Okay.
He posted.
Duro?
Yeah, Duro. He posted a tweet saying that where the women at? Where the women rappers at? I'm paraphrasing. Where the women rappers at? That are like Jay-Z. They rap like
that
Nipsey.
Can actually rap.
They rap like this. And then he was like, all they seem to be talking about is the same thing.
Yeah, same song.
Now hold on. Now look. He said that. Keep in mind, he's pushing a
I
single
don't know
right now. He's pushing a single right now.
But the truth is still the truth.
No, but his single is called Twerk War. His single.
God. Do we not know about time?
Inside, what's the inside peanut butter, outside
jelly.
Something like that.
Inside peanut butter, outside jelly. It's regular.
Wait, that old song?
Yes.
This is a dude. This is a dude when folks was wearing big polo outfits and driving around with dump trucks.
Back when I ran, I'm gonna be honest, yo. I'm gonna age myself a little bit. I ran a record
Inside
pool.
peanut butter.
I ran a record pool in like 2007, 2008 for Hustle Fam Entertainment, the Hustle Squad DJs. Duro was one of the artists we was pushing, man.
Duro, man. Now he over here really criticizing the music out here. My man's, you ain't even out here right now.
Okay, but
he right. Didn't some chick recently say the same thing?
No name.
Ice cream
hold on,
paint
now,
job.
look, no name came at him about it,
God.
So when No Name came at him about it, they got all of the, she rallied up the troops at that point. But then Cupcake decided to jump in.
And say this the
Cupcake
truth.
said, yes, if I'm being honest with y'all, female rap is really boring to me right now.
It is.
But then, people was like, "Yo, who is she? Who is Cupcake shading?" She said, "I don't have to shade no one. I'm direct. I'll ask your favor and tell them exactly how I feel if I felt the way." Once again, female rap is very boring right now and mediocre. I stand on what I said, and not a soul gonna do shit about it. Now what? This is Cupcake saying that.
Wait a minute.
I know.
So is this opposite day?
I know, right?
So Duro
and Cupcake.
Wait, Duro made a statement what I agree with, but then his single is completely contradicting everything that he say. And then
like y'all don't rap, y'all just be on some bullshit.
Cupcake.
So no. Before we get to Cupcake, because I want to hear your perspective. I just want to make sure I'm following the story. So then, No Name, who makes a completely opposite style of music, comes in to defend, probably more based on gender than anything. To which Cupcake, who actually makes that style of music,
they're saying this shit ain't it.
This shit is trash.
Yeah.
So that's the story.
Yeah. That's
okay.
the story.
All right. I'm just making sure I'm following. I'm not the brightest.
My thing is, the thing that traps us sometimes is the shit that we keep repeating that we think we like. People have already made the arguments about how there's plenty of men out here making the same type of motherfucking music, and that shit is getting sold. That shit is trying to be handed out on the sides of the streets. You can hear it everywhere. All these types of styles of music that people think are whack or whatever. And people consistently going to keep doing that. People are going to consistently keep doing that shit. So why we keep having a conversation about what, women who happen to rap do and what they talk about? Because it's going to always be like that. With every damn Megan Thee Stallion, you're going to have a Rhapsody. With every, it's because that's how it's always been. You had just party motherfuckers. You had the Message, and then you had motherfucking what's that song by Sugar Hill Gang? Yeah, rappers. You got the Message, and you got Rappers Delight. You gonna have your real. You gonna have some, whatever with your whatever.
That's true.
And I feel like we gotta get out of that loop of feeling like there's always gonna be a deficit in terms of the quality of things, because then we wouldn't even appreciate it if it wasn't quality things. come in fews. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you getting a billion motherfucking Jay-Z's and a
Nah.
billion Kendricks. You gonna get the few because you appreciate the few.
Yeah.
But we'll take a million niggas trying to sound like Future, a million niggas trying to sound like Thug, a million niggas trying to sound like Uzi because of the type of music they make. It still serves a purpose.
Well,
it gives what you get, but people trying to make it more like, man, niggas nowadays, like, you got shit like Lil Yachty and Masaego Blah.
Actually,
and they making,
I like Lil Yachty.
but
last
the thing about it is, like, he's serving his purpose, but they want him to be motherfucking Biggie or some shit.
Well,
it just don't work like that.
To what you're saying, that's true, because a lot of times when people bring up various eras, they're very selective with their memory about those eras.
Yeah, it was always
and like people like the 90s. And
When like Nice and Smooth was out in the 90s, nigga.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Kid and Play was out with
Kid and Play was,
at the same time as what? Big Daddy Kane and all these niggas. Like, 90s, what you talking about?
The 90s, when people really talk about
happy rap, not even cussing on your girl's bum. You know what I'm saying? Giving you that.
Well, you know, so when people talk about the 90s, really they talking about 20 albums. 20. If you talk about, I'm talking about that's hip hop and rock. You're talking 20 albums.
Damn.
And mind you, like 10 albums came out a week, and I'm talking about 20 for a decade. So to your point, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, this shit is mediocre, and it is boring. Now, someone saying that, to quote Common, if I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean that I'm hating. If you put yourself out in the market, you are now putting yourself out there to be critiqued.
Period.
So once you put yourself out there in the public, people are going to critique it, for better or for worse. So you can't say the people can't critique the product that you put out in the market to be consumed. You put it out in the market to be consumed, people can critique it. What I will say, though, is this shit is boring, and the reason it's boring is simply because it's formulaic. I really blame it on the European executives. Like, our culture used to move faster than this. If you look at our culture from the mid 80s to the early 80s to the late 80s, it was 3 different fucking things. 3 different waves. Look at the 90s. 3 different waves.
Yeah.
Early 90s, that's what Vanilla Ice. Mid 90s, that's Biggie and them. Late 90s, we into DMX. That's 3 different production styles.
Yeah.
That's 3 different fashion styles.
Yeah.
That's 3 different slangs. Early 2000s, you go from Jay-Z and Pharrell and the Excuse Me Miss and all that to the Snap era in 10 years. From this highly orchestrated shit to a kick, a snare, and a snap. You know what I'm saying? This music has not evolved in the last. It's the same beat. It's the same rap. It's the same song. Now, mind you, it's been the same subject matter for the last 30, 40 years, because unless people learn how to fly, go to another planet, ain't much else to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds the same.
But I think, like, my response to it was, we look at, I think a lot about what the public wants, right? Like, we now have more ways to access things. Yeah. So if you want that music, you can find that music, right? Now, Doro and Cupcake, you know, I believe that they're referencing from a point of saying, well, what's highlighted, you know, or what people care about. In reality, well, guess what? That's what people care about. That ain't got shit to do. I mean, now look, regardless of what the machine can do, I'm saying what the machine can do. Keep in mind that there are people who enjoy that shit, which is why it's getting, but
it's also people that don't, and they can say that.
But
and
ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying that you also can't just lump it all. You have to. I guess I would prefer it if the Doro said, in my opinion, you know. And now Cupcake, the thing is, her saying it because you're right in that fucking pocket right now. Yeah. Now you allowing yourself to be critiqued because you saying that these chicks is mediocre, and that's somebody like, well, you mediocre.
But the thing, I think, you know, I don't know. It ain't nothing. If somebody say that they don't like it, they could just say that they don't like it and just leave it at that. Because the fact of the matter is,
I think it's about, and it goes back to what we talked about earlier, where everybody has a voice now. Because everybody has a voice, when you say shit, just know that there's gonna be a lot of blowback if you say something that a lot of people don't agree with. You know, you're gonna get a lot of that too.
Well, the thing is, I think right now everybody's so ass hurt and sensitive that they don't know how to take a critique. Like, if you say something that's not completely, I love it, people don't know how to take that.
That's real.
And you can't say we got this society, everybody get to speak their mind until I don't agree. No, motherfucker. Everybody gets to speak their mind means everybody gets to speak their mind.
But people also get to disagree with your
with your disagreement.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, to some people, and a large percentage of people, they're not satisfied with this shit. Now that happens.
Now don't say large percentage.
It's a large percentage.
You don't know if it's a large percentage. Where's your data that says a large percentage? Where's your data?
The reason why I said the data is real simple. Once the machine stopped pushing a lot of this stuff, they numbers dropped off.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, where's your
that's my data.
Where's
That's my
data?
data. That's
Show
my data.
me
I'm
the
talking
data.
about Spotify.
Show
anyway,
me
a large
the data.
A large percentage.
Show me the data before you say large percentage.
I can say large percentage.
Just say
I didn't
your
say
opinion.
I don't
Don't
know.
say large percentage.
I can say
don't
that.
say large
I can say
percentage.
that. I can
you
say that.
can't say
yes,
that.
I can.
You cannot
Watch
say
it.
that.
Wait, hold on. You said I can't say it?
You can't say
Watch
that.
me say it. A large percentage.
You
I just
cannot
said
say that.
I just said.
That's
Hold
your opinion.
on. Let me say it again.
That's
a large
your
percentage.
In your opinion.
And that's your opinion.
In your opinion.
And that's your opinion.
In your opinion.
And that's your
In your
opinion.
opinion.
That's your
In
opinion.
your opinion.
That's yours.
In your opinion.
So we 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I was saying, a larger percentage of people
Stop saying a large percentage.
find the shit boring,
Yeah.
and they find the shit basic. Now, if you are the type of person that wants to talk about who is right instead of what is right, then you're going to say, oh, it's because they females, or oh, it's because of the content or subject matter. No. All it means is real simple. There is a percentage of people right now, large or not, who are not satisfied with the status quo and who do not like it. And that means that there's an open market and possibility for people to provide that percentage of the market with something that they do like. That's all that means.
Well, anyway.
The end.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The shit is trash, though.
Stop saying okay. Whatever.
It's trash.
That's your opinion.
I do.
Yeah,
But then,
it's trash.
personally, I would love if they, tighten up and bring up the quality of the people.
Yeah, it's like
to get the
if you
mics
want to
to.
be in the NBA.
But that's just my. That's my.
If you want to be in the
opinion. 'Cause I'ma
NBA,
still
But the
find-
thing is, the
I'ma
NBA
still
has
find what I want.
regulations.
Hold on. If you want to be in the NBA, you got to be one of the best players in the world.
Yes,
We don't have regulations.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
that is a problem.
I've
That's the
always
problem.
wanted us to have regulations.
There's no.
But it's because-
Like there used to be a point where if you wanted to sing, you
Yeah.
had to fucking be able to sing.
But it's because art's so subjective. They
Yeah.
they take away the science,
Dog,
the actual
they lowered
and
the bar to anybody in the game.
The form of it.
Technology did that, but I also want to say I think like
And also, most people
Yeah.
do. There is a percentage of people to agree with what you're both saying. In general, lower thread count shit sells more. In general, in all things. So there is the majority of people are going to want one thing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's always going to be the way it is. Like when people talk about Jay, when Jay first, Reasonable Doubt was slept on for 4 years. That wasn't a majority consensus. You know what I'm saying? When Wu-Tang came out, Kid and Play was out.
Yeah.
That wasn't a majority consensus. That wasn't the thing. So I'm saying that to say it's always going to be 85% of people that like something. I've never cared about the 85% of people. Never will. There's going to be another group of people, 5 and 10%, that actually dictate the taste of the 85%. And when I say a large percentage, I'm talking about the 5 and 10% of people that actually dictate the taste of the majority.
Yeah.
Their tastes start changing.
That's real.
So whenever I make a statement, for the record, I am never talking about the 85%. I am never talking about what the vast majority of people are doing. I have no perspective.
then you can't say large percentage.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
10 is a large percent.
Stop it.
10 is a large
Stop
percent.
it. Stop it.
That's a large
Stop
percent.
it.
I will
Stop
never
it.
care about the
Stop
85%.
Stop it.
They don't even count to me.
Stop it.
I'm being honest.
Oh my God. This
That's
is
like trying to
fucking
talk to me about.
exhausting.
That's like trying to talk to me about an NPC on fucking Grand Theft Auto. I don't give a fuck what they doing. They just random people walking around the background so the city don't look empty. I don't give a fuck. I care about
Anyway.
I care about 10 people got names over their characters.
Whatever. Yo.
You a fucking NPC, I'll run you over.
Talk about, anyway, off of that subject.
Fuck an NPC.
Anyway, off of that subject, we're going into music theory.
Okay.
The first artist is a girl who's born in Cabrini Green.
Okay.
If you are unfamiliar, Rodney, Cabrini Green was a
Good time.
famous project here.
I know Cabrini Green.
They tore it down about 10 years ago.
So that they could build $10 million houses across the street.
So this
It's
is
fuck up
her
the West Side
latest. This is her latest record. It's called Long Way. Her name is SG Ali.
What you know about Dodger 12? In that battlefield, Dodger shells. And niggas say you got your bread up. Knowing a nigga from your side hit your mans up. I'm in the trenches with a Draco. If they catch me with it, I'ma be a long way from home. Staying strapped cause they want me 6 feet. And I swear that's a long way from home.
So I just sit it all. And sometimes I feel like I'm dreaming. Can't believe some shit is like that I'm seeing. Tryna sleep away the pain, got me leaning. Only drugs bring me peace, that's why I be fiending. And I need more pressure on my back, and all these problems got me sore. Just brought some new Glocks, put some new bodies on the skull. We still in the streets, so bring them glizzies out on top. Lying hard to hear me roar. Angels in my room, while my demons at the door. Here they say that they want war. Blue hearts for me, baby, cause I'm gangster to the core.
Dodger 12. In that battlefield, Dodger shells. And niggas say you got your bread up. Knowing a nigga from your side hit your mans up. I'm in the trenches with a Draco. If they catch me with it, I'ma be a long way from home. Staying strapped cause they want me 6 feet. And I swear that's a long way from home.
I got some thoughts caged up there a long way. You had 1 minute left, all I hear the phone say. Look, cause with 17, they did him the wrong way. Now his mama say she always having long days. And you know nothing about that battlefield. They criticize the shit we do, but don't ask how we feel. His brother daddy want revenge, so that's why he killed. They say that shit won't make it better, but that's how we feel. Can tell with snakes up in the grass, I had them rattle now. You wanna make it in this world, it ain't know how it feel. My brother always had my back, you know I'm having here. We ain't asked for this life, that's just how it is. See, this life is just a cycle. Nobody wins, we just keep killing for no title. This a new era, we like Glock, don't turn no rifles. And we on anybody who got ties with our rivals.
About Dodger 12. In that battlefield, Dodger shells. And niggas say you got your bread up. Knowing a nigga from your side hit your mans up. I'm in the trenches with a Draco. If they catch me with it, I'ma be a long way from home. Staying strapped cause they want me 6 feet. And I swear that's a long way from home.
And that's Long Way from SG Ali. I'm gonna be honest, I found out about SG Ali a few days ago. I was reading something on the Chicago Reader.
Okay.
And they were talking about one of her recent videos. This is a newer record, but
This your
I'm
boy
really,
article.
Huh?
Yeah. Your guy who write for the Reader.
What you
Was
mean,
it
my
his
guy?
article? No, you got a buddy write for the Reader.
Nobody. I have to do Leor.
Yeah.
Shouts to Leor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is this a Leo article?
I believe Leor was the one who
I'm
wrote
sure.
about it now, but she
Chicago Media Illuminati.
shut up.
Illuminati.
I'm gonna be honest. I was going through records this morning because I was like looking for the record that I was gonna grab. Shouts out to David Sebastian. He has a nice record that I really like because he dropped the video for it the other day. But I was going through some records, and when I stopped on SG Ali, I was like, "Yo, let me really check into her a little bit." I talking about that record in particular. I think off mic you said something about how a lot of these cats they be on these soft beats saying the wildest, hardest shit.
Yeah.
And I be like, yo, this is what they like. This is who they are. This is how they this is how they exist, you know, how they've come to be. And I think like somebody like SG Ali, she represents so many. Obviously, you know, she has a very rough aesthetic, but she also has I guess I'm more adept to enjoying that authenticity, you know, like hearing somebody and saying that, okay, I recognize where she's coming from. While I might not agree with the stuff that she's talking about or the way that she's talking about handling things, I can look in. I could look a little deeper, probably because, you know, I'm a little biased to the Chicago aspect of it all.
Yeah,
but
that's what I say. You biased.
Nah, I enjoyed the record. I'm gonna pass it to you, Neo.
You honestly, it's too soon. You know, it's too soon for me after the whole Divine thing, and even what's going on with Youngboy and Rondo and Dirk. I just don't want to hear that stuff right now. Yeah, that's my comment. I just don't want to hear that type of stuff right now.
What about you, Rodney?
Yeah, I'm looking and like she still be having like, you know what I'm saying, imagery in Cabrini Green, you know, and I do enjoy that that's the angle that they taking, you know, presenting her authenticity. I think that's always a good way to go, especially because that's a place that people probably don't even remember the story, don't even know the full story about what happened to those projects. So that's a silver lining to it all. But I do think that it's unfortunate that we live in a time where even if you starting to get past it, or we won't really know what's up, because you could be just rapping about something that you got through. They don't got to be what you in that moment. I think it's unfortunate because we in a space to where we can't even be respected to give that type of perspective, and then also be supported in making sure that's what our past. Like we speaking from a time in our life where that was a thing. Because to me, it seems like so many people rap those things, literally have the opportunity to be considered poets,
right,
and not even related to anything
right
that's, you know, remotely violent or dangerous or traumatic.
Right.
But there's still this intensity and this almost necessity, almost, that I think some of them feel like to stay in it, like in some way, shape, or form, or bring it into that life.
Like Youngboy.
So it's like, all right, I might not be doing the same thing. I might not be, you know, whatever thing I was doing to survive. But now I brought a lot of my world, that old world, into this.
Yep. With
the people who came from that, and then also too, it's other people who on the same shit, and they looking at me like I'm food. Well, that's how, at least the perspective I have. That's the one that I came from.
That's how they looking at you.
So it's like,
accurate.
What do I do in that moment other than do what I know what to do and survive? When all these people had the opportunity to thrive, it's interesting to me, and I think they can all come out of it, still be authentic to who they are. But I think so much about the world and the industry kind of, it's like, no, this is how you got to come and this is how you got to stay. And I think that the cycle ends up being the one where I got to keep staying in this moment, because too many flights and nights and private jets to motherfucking LA, and you being in 5-star situations, you then become the thing that
you're a product of your environment.
Yeah, so you then become something that you can't even recognize anymore. And then that shit gonna obviously come out in your music. That shit gonna obviously do the thing.
And
so
I think when it comes to the reason that artists like SG Ali exist here is because that's what, to your point, that's what these kids recognize. That's what the guys who are into the music recognize, right? Now, the OGs, or if you call them that, or just anybody else showing people that, hey, there is another way, you know? I thought that Chance was doing that a little bit a while ago, but yeah, we saw that. I mean,
you know what though? That's on his grandma, man. They shouldn't have never made that boy feel guilty. But it's cool. It's that's that generation's music, so I'm not the person to really comment on it. I just noticed that lately, the industry, I think I said it recently. When the industry saw that they could just put a bunch of people in a fucking room in a burnt out ass trap apartment and just run somebody in there with a little $600 fucking Canon or Sony or something, and fake call that a video, and fake call beefing with neighborhood, other little gangsters and shit. They could fake call that marketing to build up Twitter. A lot of people start treating that as marketing and promotion strategies.
Yeah.
When in actuality,
it's real lives impacted by that.
Had they had any common sense, they would have realized that these was young, misled children who had bad PTSD and no real guidance.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of looking at it like that, they started looking at it as marketing.
Yeah.
And whenever I see it now, I just look at this as, somebody, it's like, let's do the don't like video again.
Right.
Let's do don't. So I'm not saying about her personally. I just see that I'm looking at it from a behind the scenes standpoint.
Yeah.
And from a behind the scenes standpoint, I just recognize that they are attempting to monetize a situation that when it was highlighted, in my mind, they should have sent in a trauma unit. Mm-hmm. Instead of sending in a trauma unit, they sent in a camera crew.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna reach out to SG that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
this week coming up.
Yeah,
I
let them come on, cause you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
somebody could have gave her a budget, but if you young and you don't know no better, somebody walk in there with they didn't use a fucking Ari or a Red. They walked in with a fucking Canon. Or some
I'm not
shit.
even talking about the budget
No,
aspect.
I'm saying no, but if you look at it, I get what they think is authentically happening. And even when I was talking about the 85%, I'm not talking about the narrative that's going on. I'm talking about the narrative that happens in closed door rooms that you and I know what the fuck is happening out when everybody's sending out the PDF at the end of the day. Yeah. The people that control the narrative, not the narrative that's being repeated by everybody else. Once you work PR, you know how to control the narrative. Yeah. So I know how to control the narrative. And I know when the narrative's being controlled. So when someone is pushing me a controlled narrative, it's my job to say, hey, this is a controlled narrative that was on a PDF that's sitting on somebody's phone right now.
Period.
And raise my fucking hand and call the flag. So the artists right now, they're manipulating and taking advantage of these artists, and rather than invest in them properly, they think that the quickest, easiest way to sell, market, and promote your product is to follow this path that was set forth by Keith and them, because we cannot pretend like they weren't the motherfucking originators. So they just keep following this same trend over and over again. And as an artist, you have to demand better and say, no, I need a fucking treatment. I want a fucking video. I want my shit mixed right. I want my shit mastered right. Quit using deaths and gangs and all that as marketing and promotion, and actually market and promote me correctly. Yes. And quit using this damn narrative over and over again. Do your motherfucking job.
Get into me. Get to know me. Market, like, actually
and
do the work.
And if you're an artist that's on the other end, when you look at this stuff that they mirroring, the artists that set forth this trend are dead and in jail. Mm-hmm. This is not the path to follow.
Yep. Yeah.
And like right now, in closing with this situation, what I really want people to point out, look how they're using this NBA YoungBoy, Dirk, Quando, Rondo narrative as a sting to wrap up everybody. Like, you don't see that they coming for the BDs and the Crips. They just locked NBA YoungBoy. What they say they gonna get that nigga 99 years? They're using these videos, this imagery, this song to lock people up forever. Yeah. It's a fucking basic cycle. So when I see people about to get on the fucking treadmill, I'm not gonna clap like, hey, good job. It's like, nigga, did you see what happened to the last 10 people who got on this treadmill?
You're gonna be running.
Like, this treadmill, it goes one way.
Yeah.
It ends one way. Yeah. Like, they literally letting Little Tim them out so that motherfucking Dirk them could do something to him so they could throw a RICO act on everybody. They literally locked NBA YoungBoy up because they was probably afraid that he was about to get a hit put on his ass, so the fucking feds locked him up to keep him safe.
Yeah, because it was too much money.
He
number one on YouTube.
He making too much money.
He making too much money.
So guess where you
he
put
not disposable.
He not disposable. So guess where you put YoungBoy to keep him safe?
Yeah.
You put him on the shelf to keep him safe.
Yeah.
And while you put him on the shelf to keep him safe, you let them have a shootout.
Uh-huh.
RICO case. 30 niggas get locked up. YoungBoy go out, #1 record back on TV on fucking charts.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see this.
And he don't. And I think the thing about him specifically is he don't need true commercial success.
Nah.
His whole reign and his whole rise
Streams.
is just streams. The fact that he's a #1 played artist on YouTube without this nationwide appeal. He got crossover already.
Yeah.
He got all these things just off virtual. This man ain't been on no fucking Jimmy Fallon and all these late night shows. He ain't had a hit song playing on every top radio station. He's not even a high profile person like that.
Both y'all
but
was
he
saying,
is making so much money for so many
in the
people.
last thing when I was saying how I don't like certain music, but y'all was saying it's a market for it.
Yeah.
He is the living embodiment of that. Because he has such access to that streaming thing that he could put out a song and it don't need any of that marketing, press, promotion. It don't need blogs, any of that. The people that's already in tune with him, soon as they see it pop up on their phone, they gonna press play. So I'm saying that to say that stuff is cool. It's just I want people to look at the pattern and look at the cycle and look at what happens when people walk down this path. This road leads in one direction.
Word.
So, I mean, it's pretty obvious what way it goes.
Well, the next record that we're going to review, this is Rodney's choice.
Okay.
It's an Alex Isely remix of Good and Plenty. Good and Plenty. It's Lucky Daye, Masaego, and Alex Isely.
Oh, man,
Speaking
you
of the
a freak.
Isely brothers, you
You
know.
a freak.
Now I'm a freak.
Yes, you are. You keep playing this Masaego and shit.
Good and plenty like a Georgia peach tree, picking sweet tweet behind the scenes, running down your knees. Water flooding me, feeling up to my teeth. I looked over to the left. I think we should let it rain tonight. No, I love it when we slip and slide. Don't stop loving, got enough supply. Sleep, wake up and repeat.
You'll get every little bit. You ain't never seen a drip like this. Heaven at your fingertips. Don't you let a minute slip. Just say you have me. Oh, taste and see. Hope you don't sleep on me. I got good and plenty.
I've been all the spaces in between. It's magic when I taste you in the beam. An average day is spent all in the sheets. Emphatic when I tell you what you mean to me. Chemistry, intimate memories. Every time I give you all my energy. Emphasis, never sleep.
Never sleep. Say you have me. Oh, taste and see. Hope you don't sleep on me. I got good and plenty. I've seen all this before in my mind. All I ask is take your sweet time. Roam around and see what you find. Long as I can call it mine. Oh, I can give you everything you dream about. Let me be the one to reassure you that you'll never run out. Just say oh, taste and see. I hope you don't sleep on me. I got good.
All right, and that is the Good and Plenty remix. Alex Isely, Lucky Daye, Masaego. Thank you, Rodney. And I'll let
shout
you
out.
start it off with your thoughts on the record.
Yeah, shout out to Ron and Ernie, you know what I'm saying? Having them good genes to pass down to Alex and She cold as hell. She cold as hell. I found out about her when I was in college. She had this song called Into Orbit. That was a real hit song that kind of blew up on the internets and shit. You know, she has a very angelic
This
voice.
old. The internet. The
Did it
interwebs.
still make a noise when you turned it on back then?
Nigga,
No. Yeah, I called dial up. I
Yeah, I
definitely
was
called
about to say,
dial
that
up.
sound like 56K.
This was in college, so it definitely wasn't dial up. But she was,
this one you had that T3 line plugged.
yeah, it was a lot better. Yeah, it was a lot better. Yeah.
That T3 line
But-
in the dorm, nigga, was special.
But I definitely implore
Playing
everybody
Call of
who,
Duty.
if you don't know who Alex Isely is, to tap in. She's been making music for a long time. She got a lot of great shit out there.
Nah, I
she just
never heard
natural ass talent. She got Tiny Desk that you'll love, all that type of shit. She can sing her ass off.
I was completely I just got my cherry popped. And I'm happy that she's like really a Isely. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was watching that Isely Brothers Earth, Wind and Fire verses, we watched that at the end of Easter. So it was my mom and my sisters, and we sitting there watching that. I didn't remember how many Isely Brothers songs that I loved.
Yeah.
And not only that, how many of them was sampled to become hip hop records that
So
I
many.
love. Because my mama dancing to one song, and I'm dancing to a completely different song in my head, but it's the same record. So I'm saying that to say this is my only song I've heard, but she's rocking that Isely mantle. And that's not a name that's easy to live up to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could go, like even when you said her name, Alex Isely, I thought that was somebody just taking that name on just as a stage name.
Yeah, because it sound nice.
Because it sounds sweet.
Yeah.
But nah, that's a dope song. That really sound like some shit that when I used to be a neo soul head, and when I was really into that shit, that sound like something I listened to. That sound like Black Love in the movie. They got like one of them like warm filters on it and shit.
Yeah, all that.
With like an ensemble cast of people who was friends in college type shit. That type of good. It always got Tay Diggs in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That type of shit.
It sound like Black Love. We
Yeah.
need more of that.
I love that. What about you, Morgan?
Oh no, I love the record. I'm sorry, I was
This
taking.
heifer done took.
A bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
I like the lighting right here, so I have to, you know.
Why you fucking sound Dominican, nigga? It's
right here.
Right here.
First of all, look, I enjoy Alex Isely. Alex Isely, she makes a lot of good music. I've heard a couple of different records from her. I'm a big fan of Masaego, and I'm a huge fan of Lucky Daye.
He cold.
So I think that you put all three of them together and you get some good music. I am excited. What I'm most excited about when it comes to the type of music that they make is as the world reopens, I think we're probably going to get more intimate experiences in person before we get the large experiences.
And they gonna shine.
Yes, they shine in the large, in the intimate experiences.
You know what? It's interesting you say that because the caps that they putting on things, as an artist, it really doesn't even make a lot of sense to try to move and do stuff at larger venues.
Yeah.
It would almost make more sense to rent
Do smaller ones?
Like do pop-ups, like rent mansions. And instead of having like a high amount of people, have a low amount of people and a high price.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying, $150, $200 a ticket. But
Like you said, a mansion or something where it's an experience.
Yeah,
that'd be fly.
Yeah, $200, $150, $200 a ticket, but it's only gonna be 150 people in here, and it's me and a piano or something like that. Whatever artist it is.
Yeah, in the backyard.
Yeah, in the backyard, some shit like that.
That'd be fly.
That's why, because that makes more sense to me than to be sitting there like you look at the NBA games and there's people 25 seats apart. I appreciate it. I'm actually going to a Bulls game, but I think that music like that, artists like that, a situation like that, some real player, $150, $200 a ticket.
Yeah,
You paying so nobody else will be there.
That's
like,
real.
You know what I'm saying? Like you basically like this is an all VIP, no GA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you basically paying for a no GA event. A no GA event with something like that.
Fine.
Some little drinks and some little I went to my buddy had a birthday party and they had an open smoking bar.
Ooh.
open smoke bar in that Alex Isely, somewhere nice in the North Shore or something.
Damn.
Sign me up.
On a good day with a breeze.
Yeah.
You got on the right amount of clothes.
Like someone in them big ass South suburban Olympia Fields houses and shit with them big ass backyards.
All that.
Sign me up. Hey, if anybody listening, y'all should get Alex Isely to do a show in Olympia or in Kenwood in one of them big ass mansions, one of them big front yards.
Bronzeville, I see it.
Gotta get on it.
Okay, now, what is your record?
ASAP TyY.
Okay, you want ASAP TyY. Let me pull it up.
ASAP TyY.
Let me pull it
Yeah.
up. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up.
Who ain't with me?
You said ASAP. Okay, ASAP TyY.
TYY.
I got you.
Who ain't with me?
All right, ASAP TyY. Who ain't with me? You're listening to another element.
Yo! Where my Glock at? Yo! Where my bike at? Yo! Where my hoes at? Where my bros at? Nigga, who ain't with me? Nigga, shoes with me. Got some killers with me. Nigga, come get me. Nigga, you ain't fit. I'm taking over. We ain't sharing nothing.
Glock came with a ladder. If I fuck her, you can have her. Bet my new bitch is better. Hey. Hop in that Raven, I'm swerving lanes. With my new bitch, she give me brains. Nigga, you get caught and you lacking. Niggas that hit you in traffic. Gotta send me Corbin Laden. Hey. Gotta send me Corbin Laden. Playing for keeps, you can play if you want. I make the call and the killers will come. Bought a new limb in the trunk in the front. Back of the back, we smoking on runs. Hey.
Bitch, who ain't with me? Got killers with me. Got shooters with me. Nigga, you ain't 50. Nigga, who ain't with me? Huh? Who ain't with me? Who ain't with me? Got killers with me. Bitch, you ain't 50. And I'm sending 50. Huh?
Sending 50. Body fresh from the surgeon. She gon' bust it for a Birkin. Make that ass get to twerking. Came from the bottom and back blocks. Used to sell dope in them crack rocks. Now we trap off a laptop. Step in my city, we getting you hit. Bought a new Glock and it came with a stick. Fuck it up. Fuck it up. Fuck it up. That gun in the trunk got a beam on it. They try to plot, wanna scheme on me.
Bitch, who ain't with me? Got killers with me. Got shooters with me. Nigga, you ain't 50. Nigga, who ain't with me? Huh? Who ain't with me? Who ain't with me? Got killers with me. Bitch, you ain't 50. And I'm sending 50. Huh?
All right, so that is Who Ain't With Me, ASAP TyY. Shouts to Rodney's conglomerate, ASAP Mob.
I'm like, what?
Definitely remember. No. ASAP TyY. His birthday is actually a day before mine.
Oh, damn.
So
When your birthday?
May 22nd.
I thought you was gonna say October 31st.
Fuck, why would that even? Anyway, going back to the record, okay?
Okay.
Because look, first of all, it was I like ASAP TyY. I'm familiar with a lot of the ASAP Mob. I'm actually glad that I'm hearing a few more things from other people in the ASAP Mob. Because for a while, my bro was caught up in that stuff overseas, and then he was doing the modeling thing before that. The pandemic happened. I'm glad that they've been making music during the pandemic, which is what a lot of folks should have been doing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to what comes, from the collective, also from they standouts as well. I'll pivot it to you, Sir Rodney.
I like how every now and again we get somebody who definitely comes from people from these different camps. We putting out people who seem pretty authentic, and it always kind of how can I say, like, just remind you of like how really level set on what's going on in the world. These folks be young as shit, having these similar as lives as these people we heard from 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Basically.
And it's hard not to relate to it because that's always, even if you didn't grow up in certain aspects, we always understand what that is, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I think we can always tell when it's like, oh yeah, it's really somebody from this, or it's really, or even when it's not like that. When nowadays we got a radar on, like, I don't know, this nigga really about all this shit. It's real easy because now it's an aesthetic as well as a way that people really are. So it's interesting nowadays.
This is my favorite ASAP Mob record in a minute, since maybe Slob on My Knob, that Ferg record, or Fucking Problems.
Damn.
With Rocky. People forget that's Rocky's song, but that's Rocky's
Dog,
song.
there's 97 people on that song.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, nobody remembers, but
a lot of standouts on that song.
Yeah, like I thought it was Drake's song. I thought it was 2 Chainz song.
You got 2 Chainz.
Everybody killed it. But
dog, how much would it cost to make that record right now?
Shit. $1 million plus
for sure.
Plus, but no,
everybody different since that song.
But my point is, this is my favorite ASAP record since then. Ty not getting the plays and all that shit to push, but I really do. There's some that shit is dope. I like the video, like the song. And it's good shit. Shout out to Harlem. Shout out to Harlem. Y'all not the Wild Hunnets. We the Wild Hunnets. But
talk to them.
Shout out to Harlem. We love y'all. And no, for real. The reason why I say shout out to Harlem is because it's time for us to really start exchanging this production and stuff like this. Chicago and New York. Let's get some money together. Let's really get some money together.
So what you got planned for this week?
This week, well, after I was resurrected last Easter. Yeah. Now, what have I been doing? Spring cleaning.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning, taking care of little knick-knacky things around the house. It's a bunch of emails I was supposed to send that I'm going to send this week. I just, we took a break because a bunch of us had shit going on. So I'm just really clearing up from that break, really.
That's good. That's real.
Right. What about you, Rodney? What you got going on this week?
Really just I took the same vibes, really cleaning, but also reorganizing, retooling some of my own processes and systems of just creating and publishing content. Now that I got, a new system.
That M1?
I'm pretty much kind of just taking assessment of all my things, being like, all right, I can change the way I do this, I can change the way I do that. Change my
you get a little more horsepower.
Yeah, you be like, oh, I can do so much, you know what I'm saying? And just so many different things. I feel like I kind of freeing up even more of my time to redirect that time into the things I really want to do. So it feels good. I think next week gonna be a real productive one. All right,
well, this week I am going to reach out to SG Ali.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that. Also, I'm gonna keep getting excited and getting ready for my thigh trip. I'm taking a thigh trip next month
to Atlanta.
Stop saying where I'm going. You don't know where I'm going. I'm going to Tennessee or somewhere, but I'm gonna just
near
say.
Atlanta.
Shut up.
So it's near Georgia.
She going to Chattanooga.
Chattanooga choo choo. This bitch.
What you know? Not the choo choo.
Stop it, okay?
Chugga.
Fully vaccinated. I am.
Get prep too, nigga.
I am fully vaccinated. I do have my prep. I got my prep.
Prep
and post.
We learned from you.
I know, but I got. First of all, I have a lot of prep, and I actually need to restart because you need to have it in your system for at least like 14 to 21 days before you actually, engage in like
that's a lot of work.
Behavior.
That sounds like a job.
No, I'm serious. Like, the pill is hella big and it's hella blue.
Well, bitch, like, swallow.
So I know, but it's a difficult. You also need to make sure you do it on a full stomach. So you don't want to make sure that you want to. No, because you'll throw up afterwards, or you'll be like just
nothing. This is going different places.
But no, it's look. First of all, I'm really excited about this trip. I got 2 of my girls who said they're going with me, so I'm really excited to see them.
Where my girls at?
No, don't worry about it.
You going to Nashville?
Shut up! I ain't going to no fucking Nashville.
Yes, you are.
Hey, I love Nashville. I went to school in Nashville, but no, we're not going to Nashville.
It's changed a lot too.
This motherfucker about to go sleep her way to the top and shit. You gonna see this bitch in the country and western awards.
Shut up.
At the CMAs.
You gonna see her at the CMAs.
First of all, I am just excited, to even be thinking about this. I didn't realize that being inside for the last year, it's kind of like got me to the point where, I'm sitting here like, damn, I'm just excited to like
be outside.
See people.
That's real though.
No, I was driving down
That's
the street
real.
like a little kid looking out the
like-
window like, no, I ain't been downtown in a lot of places in so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did this building come
from?
Dead ass. That's so real.
Also,
Like y'all was building shit?
They built a whole 40-story building right
okay,
here.
this episode will come out after the release, or probably like right before the release of the body cam video of the incident involving Adam Toledo. Sending thoughts and prayers to the family. Sending thoughts and prayers to everybody involved.
All parties
involved. That about wraps us up this week. I thought that it's important that I, leave with an important record. I'm gonna keep trying to make Coyle Ray. I gotta make her exist. She has to be better than she did last week.
Benzino threw her the bread. Benzino got business out here. He got a crab boil place in the Birds.
Wait a minute.
She's
He trying to invest in the Chicago. See what's going on?
Wait a minute.
You still see what's going on?
See, now y'all gonna prove Cupcake right on the way out.
Exactly.
No, this is by Kyle You Made that is featuring Coyle Ray and Cash Page, which I actually need to figure out.
Okay, so Duro and Cupcake, y'all the real MVP.
Y'all got it right.
Y'all got it right.
All right, but that about wraps us up. See y'all next week.